Many thanks for joining us. You are definitely watching Parastatal TV, the station that promotes the role of state corporations. I am your host, PK10, and this is definitely Frontline. Today we are privileged to be hosting the Chief Executive Officer, who is also the Chief Trainer at Wabcom Ventures, Madam Beatrice Wababu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much indeed.
For somebody who's getting to hear about you for the first time, probably how best would you describe yourself?
Well, I would describe myself as, first of all, as a wife, a mother.
Yes.
And when it comes to the professionalism, I am a communicator. And I'm passionate about communication, and I'm passionate about what I do. Yes.
So what is Wabcom Ventures all about?
Wabcom Ventures is a training and business management consultancy company where we do trainings and help organizations do their business is better than, better, because we do believe that there is always room for improvement. So you could be doing something, but we train to make you do what you're doing better.
Okay.
Yes.
What prompted you to get into this profession? Because I understand from your profile, you were a civil servant before.
Yes.
What prompted you to get into this particular field?
For me, there are two things that moved me to this business. One, to see work, people doing better, because I do believe that there's always room for improvement. There is always a better way of doing something. And I knew that after my training and after I did my master's in corporate communication,
yes,
I knew that I had already gotten what I was waiting for, to help people, to equip people with what they need. And we know that training is about communication. And so therefore, that is one of the reasons, just to see if, services being delivered in a better way. That is number one. Number two, the other thing is that already being a communicator,
yes,
I needed to use already God-given skills, and which I went to enhance in school. I wanted to use them so that I can be able to make this, our country better,
yes,
by, giving what I have. And that is what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how did you start off, and probably for how long has the company been in existence rather?
This is the 5th year for Wabcom Ventures. It's
yes,
relatively a very new company. But I always tell people that being a new company does not mean the people behind the company are new. We are experienced. I have a very experienced team which has worked in elsewhere, as you've heard that I worked as a civil servant before.
Yes.
And so the team that I have of consultants and trainers are people that are already well experienced in the field. And therefore, the company may be young, but what we are doing great things because already we have the experience.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I understand it's always a challenge for you to get accreditation from the National Industrial Training Authority. I would want to understand, and probably for somebody who's listening this and watching this at home, and they're asking, what are some of the critical steps that you had to undergo before you were accredited? Okay.
National Industrial, NITA as it is known, but it's National Industrial Training Authority, is a government agency that helps or seeks to regulate the training providers. And it's a good thing. For me, I think that is the way to go, because when we get people loose out there and they can just do, we have a lot of briefcase trainers out there. But for me, to get to when I decided that this is what I want to do, I wanted to get everything right. And one of the things to get right was to get accredited by NITA. Yes. So I started by putting the structures, the legal structures, for example, registering the company, yes, and having a physical address, that is having an office, yes, and having the staff and recruiting the trainers. And so that is what the NITA requires of everyone. I'm a strong believer of doing things right, and that is why you have seen that one of our core values, yes, is integrity. And so integrity cannot go without you wanting to do the right thing, And integrity to me is doing the right thing, what you can do in the dark, you do it in the light. Yes. So that is how we work in Wabcom Ventures. So we did all that, and we submitted I submitted all the documentations that was required, yes, and the fee that is required to be paid. And I mean, within like 14 days, I had gotten my letter, and I got NITA accredited. Of course, now I needed to build on structure because I had only myself and one more trainer. So I needed to build on the training, on the capacity for actually offering this work. And so I continued doing this, vetting people, and I knew the kind of people that I was looking for. So I built, and now I have got over 15 trainers with me, and they go through what we call training of trainers. So I actually designed a training of trainers program, which we undertake, and even right now we have one that is currently running. And this, it doesn't matter your field. Like now the current one, we have even doctors, medical doctors, because you see medical doctors are involved even in training, maybe doing presentation of papers or training people on certain skills in the medical world. So they have seen the need of this. And so in this training of trainers, therefore, we even have lawyers who will come, because like now many organizations want training in areas like labor laws, the Employment Act and all that. So how do they deliver? You can have it in the head, but doing the delivery is the issue. And so we have that training of trainers. And actually, as a matter of fact, I don't engage anyone that has not gone through training of trainers in this company, because I do believe in quality of delivery of the trainings.
There's another question that would come. The company has all the structures, but getting clients now, because I want to know who most have, or who are your clients.
Yes.
But let's begin by you telling us how did you go about getting your first clients, and then probably telling us who are your clients.
Wow, that is where the rubber meets the road.
Yes.
Because we are talking of when you're going out there to a market that is already very saturated, to a market where people believe, you're going out, and there are those who believe this is our world.
Yes.
It wasn't easy. That one I can tell you. And I can tell you for the 5 years within the field, the first full year I spent, let me say I spent, because I was everything. Yes. When I began. I was the clerk, I was the accountant, I was everything. Yes. In the company. Yes. The receptionist, and actually I had just one office. Even the tea girls. So I mean, that is the way this thing was, and it wasn't easy at all. But I knew I already had done my own research. I didn't get to something that I didn't know. I had already done a lot of research. Yes. And I knew what to expect. But I got a lot of support from my own husband, who is a business man, and who is actually my my business mentor. And it's not easy. People think that your spouse can't be, but for me it has worked, because he has really mentored me when it comes to business. When I felt overwhelmed, this is the guy that I turned to now, not as a husband but as a business mentor, and ask him questions and all that. He helped me because he's already running a company. Our sister company is what called Wabcom Technologies Limited, and he told me I already had known what kind of the bumps that I'm going to find ahead. So it was really not, it was not that easy, but at least I had some knowledge that helped me, to keep on going. So what happened, to answer your question straight about the first client, is that there are people that believed in me. I just worked in an office, and for me the beautiful thing is that I do believe that if you know what you have and what you're made of, you can be able to knock every door, any door, and it can be opened. You need consistency and persistence, and that's what I have. And so what I did, I just called, I got a number from a friend. Mm-hmm. I called this CEO of a certain retailer, one of these big retailers. Yes. I just called him, I introduced myself. I told him there's something that I would want to talk to you about, if you'd just give me a chance to listen to you. And I mean, that was, to me, if you'd talk from a Christian perspective, that is just taking a step of faith. Yes. When you talk from the business world, that is taking a risk, and that's what I did. So and he gave me an appointment. I told him, this is what I can do. This is what I have started a company, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm good at, and this is what the needs that I have already seen in your company. I'm telling you that I did a lot of background check on the organizations, and because I'm passionate about good service, yes, I knew that this company had some gaps. Mm-hmm. And I told him this and this and this. He said, yes, you're the first person who has told me exactly what is ailing my company. And he was really impressed. And from that time, we just became friends. And I told him, for me, what I'm looking at first, we are not even going to talk about payments. Yes. I just first you to see what I can do, and what Wabcom Ventures can be able to offer for you. At this time already, I had a very good trainer who I had met in Dista University, where I did my master's degree. And you know, I knew him and I knew this guy is good in what he does. Yes. And we had talked and agreed that whenever I'll get the clients, he'll be the first person that I would call and we can be able to work together. So he came along with me and we did a good job. Yes. I mean, we gave it our best. I mean, the CEO and the chief trainer being the one to do the work. And I remember that CEO telling me, if I give you this opportunity, I want you to come yourself and do it. I told him, I will do it. I'll be hands-on. And that's what I plan to do for the rest of the time that I'll be at Wabcom Ventures. And so we did a good job. From there, as they say, the rest is history. Yes. Because he got me the second and the third client, because I got referrals. And even when you're speaking of now of clients that I have clients in the parastatal, I have government clients. Like I have, you know, just to give, I don't want to mention, because I can't mention all of them, and yes. I don't want to feel any of my clients to feel like I left them out. Sure. But I'm working with the county governments already. I am doing a lot of training for the county government. Excellent. I am already doing training with corporates, actually even parastatals. I am doing for them, and maybe just for a parastatal I can mention like RBA, yes. who are very good clients and people that have, you know, I've admired the way they work with the transparency. Yes. And many others. And actually out of that already, there are many other clients that have come as a result of referral. So to me, right now, I would tell you that the clientele that I've built, I have built because of the referrals that I've got. And others, for some just reasons, they have gone to our website. Maybe someone is just Googling and looking for something, yes. and they just get to call us. Yes.
Wow, at this particular juncture, I want us to take a short break, but I hope employers are listening to this. How often do you value your employees? And let me ask you, if you are a business leader, if you are an employer out there, have you ever taken time to take your employees for training? Probably that's why you're not getting the results that you want. We'll be having more when we get back shortly. Remember, our guest today is the Chief Executive Officer, Wabcom Ventures. It is none other than Mrs. Beatrice Wababu. We take a short break, but don't you touch that dial. We'll be back in just a bit.